Varga family, welcome back to my channel. So today I have some last minute outside decor using Dollar Tree products. What makes this last minute is a lot of the products I'm using you can find all year round versus just the seasonal stuff that sells out quickly. There's only 2 items in here that are seasonal. Let me know which DIY is your favorite down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's begin.
The next time you're at Dollar Tree, pick up a bunch of their colorful bowls. For this particular DIY, for every one you make, you need 2 bowls. Now I'm going to share with you guys 2 different ways of making this DIY. The first way is the safer way of doing it, but I don't think it's the sturdiest way. You're going to get some styrofoam from Dollar Tree. If you can find a flatter piece or a cube piece, go with that. And you're going to cut it down so that the pieces can fit underneath a bowl. I'm going to glue 2 of these squares that I cut up underneath my bowl just using some hot glue. And you want the thickness of the styrofoam to be pretty thick because you're going to be using one of the broom handles from Dollar Tree and pushing that through the styrofoam, and you're counting on the styrofoam to hold that broom handle in place. I use something to help create the hole before I push my broom handle. You don't have to do this, it just makes it easier to do, and don't push the broom handle down with too much pressure, otherwise you might crack your bowl. Once you have this bowl done, you are going to glue it to just a normal bowl. I'm using E6000 and then a little bit of hot glue. E6000 is a more sturdy glue than hot glue is, but the hot glue just helps your DIY get done faster. We're making jumbo lollipops here. I gotta hide that styrofoam at the bottom. I'm using a big decorative bow from Dollar Tree and just gluing that to the styrofoam. You can go ahead and paint the styrofoam if you want to, or cover it up using something else. The next way I'm going to share with you guys on how to make these lollipops is the better way in my opinion. It's more sturdy, it's just you have to proceed with caution. You're going to be melting the plastic on the bowls, and melting plastic can cause toxic fumes. I want to emphasize Cooper nor I were in the house when Matt did this. My brother-in-law helped film. Matt took the broom handle, placed it into the fire over the stove. You just have to let it get slightly hot and then slowly push the handle through the bowl. Using the broom handle allows you to create the perfect size hole, so you don't have to worry about the hole being too big and then the handle's just kind of messing up within the bowl. It stays put. It's not hard to do. It's just plastic fumes can be toxic. The good thing is it's not like you're melting a whole bunch of plastic. As you wait for your handles to cool down, I recommend just placing the bowls outside. Now I'm using my E6000 and hot glue to glue a normal bowl to the bowl that has the broom handle. Now I'm going to be using this tissue tassel garland from Dollar Tree. I cut it up into pieces, and I'm just going to tie these pieces and then glue them down on the bottom of the bowls. So this is supposed to be a lollipop. It would be directly underneath the lollipop. Then I'm just attaching a pink bow to the front of my lollipops, and I actually use a zip tie to attach it to the broomsticks. I think this is better than just using hot glue, and I did this with all of the other lollipops that I made. Take these outside, push them into the ground, and you're good to go. If you're having a hard time pushing them into the ground because your ground might be a little too frozen, use something like a stake to start a hole and then start to push the broom handle into the ground. These are so cute and they really match my outside decor. I went with more of just like a Candyland gingerbread theme outside, and I just absolutely love the way that these turned out. You can do some more candies with these bowls, real easy candies. Just glue 2 bowls together. Again, I'm using E6000 and hot glue. I highly recommend using something more heavy duty than just hot glue if you're sticking these outside. And this time around, I'm just going to take cellophane wrap. I got it at Dollar Tree. I got the clear one, and I'm going to wrap it around my bowls, making these look like jumbo wrapped candies. I noticed that out of 1 cellophane wrap from Dollar Tree, I was only able to wrap 2 candies, and I use zip ties to tie the ends of the cellophane wrap. You can always use ribbon or whatever you have on hand. Just put this on the ground outside. If you live in an area that gets super windy, you can put some stones on the bottom of your candies to keep them weighted, or just figure out a way to attach them to the ground so that they're not flying away on you. I love the way that these pair with the lollipops. They're so easy to do, and if you want, you can even stack them on top of each other. If you stack them on top of each other, make sure you use some glue to attach them to each other. I want to share this hack because it's so cool, but I want to emphasize this is more of a shower curtain hack than it is a Dollar Tree hack. That is because for this hack, you need a projector. I got this projector for $50 a few years from Amazon during Black Friday and then the holiday seasons. They do have good sales on projectors. What you want to do is place some command hooks on your window or beside the window, and you're going to use these hooks to hang your shower curtain off of. In a moment, I'm going to share with you guys how to do a DIY projector, or just kind of how I made one, but let me tell you guys, it does not work. It won't work for this DIY. Once you have the shower curtain hung on your window, you want to remove any excess shower curtain. Now place your projector on top of something where it's going to hit the window perfectly. Now what I'm going to do is I went to YouTube and I just typed in Santa Claus moving across window projector loop. Like, there's different things you can type in, and you're going to find a bunch of videos that you can go ahead and project on top of the shower curtain. Start to play that video on your phone or laptop and make sure that you make the video go full screen and you have the resolution on your phone and or computer fully up. This is how it looks inside of the house, but outside is where the real magic is. It looks like Santa Claus is walking across my window. This is so cool and such an easy hack. Now, if you're going to buy a projector, you can buy the projector just for this, but honestly, projectors are so cool and they come in handy for crafting too. Lots of times I can pull up an image on the projector and just trace it directly on top of something I'm crafting. I love mine. You can find so many different videos for free on the internet. So this is the Santa Claus one. I ended up putting a dancing gingerbread men one on the screen. This one was kind of funny. Then I had the Santa Claus with the reindeers on top of the window. Super cool. This one is just like a winter wonderland with a giant baby walking across the projector. So I just kept seeing Cooper's shadow, which is hilarious to me. And then I did one where it was just like elves and Santa. You can do anything that you like. I just really wanted to share this, even though it's not exactly a Dollar Tree DIY. It's technically like a Dollar Tree hack because I did use their shower curtain, but I wanted to share this just because how cool it is. Now you can make a DIY projector. I was actually going to share with you guys how I did this, but it does not work well at all. Basically, you get a box and a magnifying glass. You create a hole inside of the box, glue the magnifying glass to that hole, then you use your phone. You'll put the phone inside of the box. More than likely, you want something to hold the phone instead of your hand. We never got to that step because of how bad, honestly, that this ended up looking. It's just really, really hard to focus. And so this is how it looks. It's just it's hard to focus, and then it's really hard to get it to look clear jumbo, and it just wouldn't work well with like projecting this on top of a shower curtain on a big window. Now, if you're into getting rewards on everyday purchases, you need to hear about our sponsor for this video.
You guys need to download the Fetch app. It's an easy to use, totally free app where you earn free rewards on anything you buy. Fetch works with literally any retail receipt from anywhere. E-receipt, physical receipts, you can redeem for any shopping that you do, whether it's for fun, hobbies, or necessities. Even if you have receipts that are up to 2 weeks old, you can scan them and start earning points. You can truly scan any receipt in a matter of seconds. It's so easy. You tend to go to craft stores like I do, for instance, Michael's, Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Joann Fabrics, scan those receipts. You go to the grocery store, scan those receipts. You can start redeeming points at 5,000 points. It's a simple process. Your rewards then turn into gift cards. You love to go into Target, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods as much as me? You can redeem your points for gift cards at these stores. If you have points, now is a great time to redeem those points. I had enough points to get a $10 Amazon gift card that I redeemed for the holiday season. They even have special offers where you get even more points for buying from specific brands. If you would like to try Fetch Rewards for yourself, remember it's totally free. Check out the link in the description. Use the code Bethany and get 5,000 points when you scan your first receipt.
Now moving on to the next DIY. Pick up some broom handles from Dollar Tree. Remember to save your brooms and mop heads to clean around the house. Now you're going to need PEX tubing. I got this 25-foot piece for $8.69 at my local hardware store. This stuff is relatively inexpensive, and and we got the 1/2 inch piece. We got 25 feet like I said. We're figuring out where the middle is and then we're going to cut it. Use whatever you have on hand to cut it. Now you're going to place 2 broomsticks inside of the ground on opposite ends. We're using a rubber mallet to pound it into the ground. You want to get it really nicely inside of the ground so nothing falls over on you. It's nice and sturdy. Now remove the handle off of your broomstick. It's going to reveal a hole. We had to fix the hole a little bit with a screwdriver just because when we were hammering it into the ground, it messed with the hole a little bit. Now you need this hole exposed so that you could put your 1/2 inch piping through the broomstick. Once both broomsticks were inside of the ground, we took our piping and we started to feed it through the broomsticks. You can now adjust the height of your arch. We're average size in my family, so we didn't have to do anything crazy, but if you have really tall people in your family, you might have to use more piping than we did. Now get some Christmas string lights. We're using some Christmas string lights we've had for years. I think 3 years at this point we've had these lights, and start to wrap it around your arch. This next step you can do before you wrap your lights. We did this after because we thought about it after. Get some duct tape and wrap it where the piping and the broomstick meet. And this is going to help keep the PVC pipe in place exactly where you want it to be, especially if you have it at a certain height and you don't want it to move from that height. We bought 1 roll each of white and red PEX piping. We used these to make 4 arches total. With the 8 broomsticks we used and 2 rolls of piping, this cost us $27.38 to make. That's under $7 for each arch. If you don't have Christmas lights, you can get a 300 count of Christmas lights at Walmart for $3.94. These are the cheapest ones they carry. The lights you see here are those Walmart lights. We bought them years ago and they are still going strong. This is so easy and inexpensive to make. You might have to adjust this every other day just by twisting the broomstick a little bit to get the arch in the perfect height that you want it to be at again. Something that pairs well with this from Dollar Tree are these light up candy canes for just $1.25. All you have to do is put batteries inside of them and then push them inside of the ground. So we had 6 of them that we paired with these arches and it just looks really nice. It's a candy lane. And since we've done this, Cooper is absolutely obsessed with the arches and all of the lights. It's so cute to see him going back and forth through the arches. For this project, I picked up these plastic plates for $1.25. Dollar Tree carries a bunch of vinyl. I got some red vinyl and then some glittery, more like a hot pink vinyl. I unroll the vinyl and place my plates on top of the vinyl. You're gonna need something that's a little heavy to weigh down the vinyl because it keeps trying to roll back on you. I take my plate, flip it over so that the top of the plate is on top of the vinyl, and I start to trace the plate. Once I've done that, I then take my pencil and I start to just create a peppermint design on top of the vinyl. After that's done, I cut it all out. It was hard for me to cut on camera because there's a tripod in the way. This is way easier to do when you don't have a tripod in front of you. Once all the vinyl is cut, I start to attach it to the front of my plate. I don't worry about making it perfect. It's kind of hard to make it perfect with that little lip that's on top of the plate. Just do your best. Like I said, I also made some pink ones using the pink glitter vinyl from Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to take some wooden dowels from Dollar Tree and I'm going to glue them to the back of my plate just using some hot glue. I make sure I use a good amount of hot glue underneath the dowel and then on the sides of the dowel. When we had placed these inside of the ground was really frozen, so we just used a stake to start creating a hole, and then that's how we pushed the wooden dowel through the ground. If the dowel is nice and moist, you can go ahead and just put it directly into the ground, but we had to use something to start creating the hole just because if we tried to push it without the hole already there, the dowel probably would have broken off of the back of the plate. That's how these peppermints turned out. Oh my gosh, I love the way that they look. They are so much more vibrant than the ones I got from Amazon. So near the gingerbread men that I have, you will see peppermint there, and those peppermints, those are just from Amazon. These ones turned out much better than those. Our next DIY is all about how I made this wreath. I get questions about all the time. You're gonna need a pool noodle and some duct tape.
So with a pool noodle, you are going to take both ends of it and use some duct tape to attach those ends. And what you're doing is you're creating a big wreath form that you can use to make a wreath. You can even make it bigger by attaching 2 pool noodles together and then taking those ends and attaching them together, and you can make an even bigger wreath, like I said. Of course, the pool noodles that I'm using are from Dollar Tree, and the duct tape is from Dollar Tree as well. So once you have your wreath form, you could decorate your wreath however you like. You can use greenery if you want to. You can use floral pieces if you want to. I'm going to be using ornaments. So I'm going to start off by using these large red and green ornaments that are from Dollar Tree. And I only had 1 pack of each one. So I started off by gluing them around the pool noodle. The thing is, I was initially trying to take the top of the ornament and pushing it inside of the foam, but it was just really hard to do. So I don't recommend doing that. I recommend anytime you glue on one of the ornaments that you put the top of it toward the back of the pool noodle, because ain't nobody gonna see it anyway. So don't try doing what I did. So after I glued those around my little wreath, I then started to glue on these medium-sized green and red balls, as well as these mint color ones that Dollar Tree carries. So Dollar Tree carries 3 different sizes of ornaments. They carry large, medium, and small ones. So the ones I'm using now, I consider medium-sized ones. As you glue, you'll figure out the method that works best for you. I started to attach 2 ornaments together and create pairs. This made it much more easy for them to be attached to the pool noodles. And anytime you glue on an ornament, you want to make sure that you are attaching that ornament to any other ornament that is touching. Always add glue. And like I said, I'm just gonna keep hearing this word, but I don't know what other word I'm supposed to use. Like, if you took a shot every single time I said it, you're probably gonna be like passed out on the ground somewhere. I can say balls, like I'm gluing this ball to this ball, and now I'm using this ball, and now this ball. But sounds funny. Anyways, next up I am using these little swirly balls. No. Okay, ornaments. I'm gluing those all around, and then I ended up taking the smallest green and red ornaments that Dollar Tree carries, and I ended up gluing those down. So I ended up using 12 packs total, 1 large green one, 1 large red, 2 of the peppermint kind, 2 of the swirly kind, and then 2 of the smaller kind. Also, the smaller ones came with gold ornaments, but I had to get rid of those because I didn't want to use those inside of my pack. Next up, I'm taking some twine and I'm tying it around my pool noodle so that it can be hung on the wall. I recommend doing this before you glue on the ornaments, but I wasn't thinking about it, so that's why you see me doing it now, but I recommend doing it before. And now you have this really pretty wreath. This is my favorite wreath I ever made. It goes so well with my decor. So this is how it looks hanging up on this mirror that I have, but I actually really have it right now hanging in my house between 2 of my windows, and I absolutely love it. I would love to make a jumbo one of these someday. This is so easy. I've talked about this before, but the tinsel decorations from Dollar Tree are great for outside decor. And right now they have these peppermints that work so well for my theme. For this particular tinsel, I'm going to unattach all 3 peppermints. The 2 peppermints that are at the bottom have a silver ring that you can use to hang these, and I'm going to be hanging these off of the bushes in the front of my house. If you're afraid that your tinsel pieces are just going to blow away on you, just use some zip ties to attach them to whatever it is you're going to attach them to. I didn't use those zip ties on my bushes, but I used them on the stair railings. I took the peppermint, looped some zip ties through the peppermint, and tie them around the railings so they stay in place. I love the way that the peppermint looks outside. I love the way the peppermint looks outside. No real DIYing required. I've used the tinsel before in the past. I've attached them to the candy canes from Dollar Tree. You can do a lot of cool outside decor with this. This is a really quick hack using the broom handles from Dollar Tree. Again, save your brooms. Save these sponges, depending on what you get. Oh my gosh, you can use those to clean so many things around the house. Anyways, you're going to take your broom handle and you're going to cut into one side of that handle piece. Then push your broom handle into the ground. Again, if it's frozen, just use something like a rubber mallet to push it into the ground. Now, why we made that little cut inside of the handle is so that we can easily place some Christmas lights inside of there and just string it across a bunch of broom handles. And this is just creating a pretty little pathway. By creating a little cut inside of the handle, it makes it really easy to place Christmas lights inside of there. You can always feed the lights through the handle, but the hole is
is not very big, so it'll get really annoying. Creating that hole makes it really easy to do this. And on top of that, one more thing I want to say, you don't want to open that little handle up too much, because if you do, you might break it off of the other side. It was pretty hard to get the lights to show up on video, but in person, this looked so pretty and magical. We put this in the backyard near some of our string lights, and I just love the way that it looks. The other thing you could do is take your lights and put it down the broom handles, and this looks really nice as well. This is not a Dollar Tree DIY, but I don't do non-Dollar Tree DIYs on my channel often, if at all, but I've gotten so many questions about the gingerbread men that are in front of my house, so I'm going to share with you guys now how I made them. I went to the hardware store and purchased one 2-inch foam insulation board. Go with any thickness you like, but I like mine a little thicker. I drew the shape of 3 gingerbread men in varying heights on the foam board. My gingerbread men were not perfect. You can always get a stencil and do it that way, but I just went with what I went with. Now you're going to take a jigsaw and you're going to cut through the foam board. The foam board is real easy to cut through. You can maybe even get away with a box cutter if you're using a thinner foam board and you don't want to use a power tool. But like I said, I'm sharing with you guys this DIY because I get so many questions about it. I didn't share it before because this is not necessarily something that I do on my channel. We don't use power tools mainly to do one DIY on my channel, and we mainly use Dollar Tree products. So I didn't really share this with you guys, but I got so many questions about it, so I wanted to share. Once you have all your gingerbread cut out, you can then go ahead and paint the gingerbread men. And we went with a paint meant for outside. We got it at the hardware store. I didn't use an acrylic paint or a chalk paint that you get at Walmart because you're going to need a whole lot of it. I just went with something I got at the hardware store, and we're just rolling this directly onto the foam board. Now I made some buttons for my gingerbread men. I had used some wood round plaques that I got from Dollar Tree, and I painted those in red, yellow, and green. Now I did this for the bigger gingerbread men that I made. For the medium and small gingerbread man, I'm using styrofoam rounds. They're just half of the round, and I painted those in more pastel colors. And I'll tell you this, out of the wood and the styrofoam, I prefer the styrofoam, and they carry jumbo ones at Hobby Lobby and Michael's. If I redid the big one, I would definitely just go with the styrofoam rounds versus the wood round. On top of the wood and the styrofoam, I glued down some of this fake snow. Basically, it's just like a white chunky glitter, so I just used Mod Podge. I put a thick layer on top of both the wood and the styrofoam, and then I just pour that glitter on top of there to give it more of a sugar-like appearance. I try to keep this part a little shorter. Basically, this is just the decorating part. So to get the like frosted look to my gingerbread men, I'm just using thick yarn, and then I'm using like a pretty ribbon, a ribbon that just kind of has a design that's very similar to what you see on gingerbread men. I started off with the thicker yarn, and I just used that to kind of outline the gingerbread man, and I'm just hot gluing it down. Then I went in with that ribbon that has that design that I like, and I cut pieces to go on the arms, the legs, and around the head. Then you can go ahead and glue down your little buttons. This is the medium-sized gingerbread man you're seeing me do here. And then I just use some craft foam to cut out the facial features of the gingerbread man, and then I just glued that down to the foam. Then I glued a bow to every single one of the gingerbread men, but I did cut off the bottom piece of the bow. Now I'm sorry about the footage of this next part. It was recorded vertically for Instagram, so this is the only footage of what we did to stick it inside of the ground.
Now to give the gingerbread men extra support and to get them to stick into the ground, I'll be using some wood and 1/2-inch electric conduit piping.
Matt took the wood and sliced it in half, then took those halves and cut them down to go on the back of the gingerbread men. He used liquid nails to attach the wood to the back of the gingerbread men. Then he cut down the conduit piping to go on the back of the gingerbread man. He hammered it into the ground. Once it was in the ground, he used fittings to go around the conduit piping and attach it to the wood that's on the back of the gingerbread men, and that's how he got them to stay inside of the ground, and they haven't moved since. We did change the positioning around a bit of the gingerbread men, but they have not moved. They've been there for about a month now. This is how they look during the day, and this is how they look at nighttime. Obviously, what you see here is a bit different because this was done a month ago before we really decorated for Christmas, and so now they have all the candy and lollipops around them, and it just looks so nice. I love the way that the front turned out. Everything was made by us except for the Amazon peppermints, and then the peppermint from Dollar Tree and the candy cane. I wouldn't say I made them. I just like hung them and stuck them inside of the ground. But everything else we made, including those gift boxes that you see. I do have a DIY for that, and I'll link that down below if you haven't seen it. So that's it for the video. Again, thanks to Fetch for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.